Hi, I'm Amy Corr, Chief Brokerage Officer of @Properties Christie's International Real Estate, and you're listening to Corr Values, a podcast where we talk about real estate and real life. As someone who's worn many hats, agent, managing broker, coach, executive, and mom, I know the hustle is real. So I'm sitting down with industry leaders and entrepreneurs to uncover the stories, strategies, and values that fuel real success. From being the CEO of your own business to figuring out how to show up for your people, we're covering it all. All right, it is the last episode of the year, and I'm sharing some of my favorite core value moments from 2025. And don't miss the end, because we're flipping the script with a rapid fire round where I'm in the hot seat. So let's get into it. 2025 gave us a lot to talk about. Let's start with the company side. We had our celebration of 25 years in the business. What an incredible milestone. But I will say, with two fearless leaders like Mike and Thad, they made these last 25 years not just exciting, but a whole lot of fun. We also supported some really amazing charities this year through our Gives Back Foundation. Thanks to so many of you who participated in the 25 for 25 initiative, and more thanks to all of you who joined us in our pickleball tournament. That was probably one of the best times I've had in a long time. And I'm excited to say we're bringing it back again next year. At Palooza, I will say that was a blast. I know many of us lost our voices as we sang and danced our butts off that day. And we rounded out the year with another extraordinary Expo. Let's also look at 2025, though, and what was happening in the industry this year. I think the biggest one, and it's still in the headlines today right now, is Zillow's new listing policy. Lots of conversations about where that's going to end up. But we can't forget NAR. Not only did we as a group survive changes from the NAR settlement, but we thrived this year. And, I think the biggest thing that I've seen in 2025 is that we're kind of going through this great consolidation as an industry. We're seeing a lot of change. But I think one of the exciting things is that with change comes opportunity. And I know all of us are ready for it as we move into the new year. This podcast has been such a fun platform for me. I know I had to say goodbye to coffee with Amy and Kevin, but Corr Values has been such a great way to hear incredible voices, not just from our company, but in the industry and in the business world altogether. So I thought as we wrap up this year, it would be a great opportunity and only fitting to look at some of our favorite episodes of the season, some of the most memorable moments, and some of the conversations that really stuck with me. First up, we've got @Properties co-founders Mike Golden and Thad Wong. And in this episode, we packed in a ton of information on leadership lessons, stories from the early days, and more importantly, their thoughts on the future of our industry. In this clip, Thad gives his take on why Zillow's new listing policy is actually damaging to our industry.
We were a small company of 4 people. We were able to grow to 3,400 agents in a single market and #1 market share because of innovation and competition. Mm-hmm. Now you really want to allow a private company to take away innovation and competition to relegate a single path for a home seller to sell their home? Like, that as an industry is too much.
So I think Thad actually nailed it, because I agree that innovation and competition is not only what has always been our differentiator at Properties, but it's also how we in the industry continue to grow and evolve and move forward. So I think we're still going to see how this all plays out with Zillow, but I'm all in on Thad's perspective. Next up is Gavin Swartzman, president of Christie's International Real Estate. And with everything going on in the industry and all of the talk of AI, I love what he honed in on, which is so essential, has been around forever, and is something that we cannot ever forget. And that is how important trust is.
We can talk about technology, we can talk about, mortgage, title, all these things. But if people don't trust you to do business with you in the first place, they don't care about any of those other things. And I do believe what's unique about the home buying and selling experience is that the information itself is becoming more and more freely available. There's AI is emerging right now to do a lot of that. So it's not a shortage of data. It's what to do with it, and then how to actually make the best decisions. And I think in those moments of truth, you need to have someone who you can truly trust to help guide you through that process.
I love this because, Gavin is right on. There's a lot of data and a lot of information out there for the consumer and for our clients. And we just have to remember, what are they always looking for? They want somebody that can guide them through this really complicated transaction and do it in a way where they feel trust and support throughout the entire process. I loved this one. All right, speaking of AI, I think that is a perfect segue to my conversation with Jim Olson, who I actually call Jimmy because he's also my big brother. But my big brother is also the CEO of Lantern, and it is an AI consulting firm. And it's funny because whenever we get together, we nerd out and talk about AI for hours. And one of the things that I love that he talked about when we were together is the 85-15 rule, because I think it's something we can all hold true as we start navigating this world of AI.
Personally, if I'm honest, I don't rely, even though I use AI every day and in lots of different contexts, I don't rely on AI to deliver the last 15%. I rely on it to deliver the first 85. And my voice is always my voice. And I want that final touch up to kind of be, my voice.
I love this so much because, let's let AI do some of the heavy lifting of the things that don't matter as much for us to do, but where we can really lean into that 15%. I know it's something that I'm focusing on right now, and as we move into 2026 is what is the 15% of the relationships, the things that matter, the connection that I can focus on because I'm allowing AI to do the things that are mundane or don't matter as much to me. So this was, I think, such a great interview, and it was also super fun to have it be my brother. All right, next up we have Tyler Mount, one of my favorites, and I will be honest, he is also the gentleman that has helped guide me through launching the Corr Values podcast. And what he talks about, and we talk about all the time, is the idea of having an authentic voice. And, it's just something that I think we always need to remember, because when we always try to be someone else, there's one person that no one else can be other than you, and that's yourself.
We know that 92% of consumers want to work with someone they deem authentic versus inauthentic. That is hard-hitting scientific data. So if you are showing up on social media trying to play the part of real estate agent or play the part of lender or play the part of CEO versus just being authentically who you are, you've already failed.
I love this because I always get caught up in being worried about what people will think sometimes and wanting to play the part. And this just resonated. I think the more that we're our real selves, people are going to like us and connect with us more. And it's something to remember. After meeting Tyler, I had the chance to meet Kirsten, not Kirsten, but Kirsten Jordan, also known as KJ from $1 Million Listing. And it was an amazing interview. I loved learning about her time on the show. But, the show is one thing. What I really liked even more is really learning how this phenomenal agent sells a whole lot of real estate.
The number one thing that changed my life is making sure that I'm able to get up and get out and exercise and come home before anybody else is awake. And I don't care if you're a morning person or not. If you have a family, it's probably the only way you're going to get it done. And so you have to figure that out.
So what I love about this is she talks about kind of creating a consistent routine. But what I appreciated the most is how she talks about the first time that she did it, how much she hated it and didn't want to do it again. Because we have to do hard things to get better and to get to the other side. And I think, she really reflects that. She's a working mom. She's super busy. She's very successful, but she makes a lot of sacrifice in order to gain the things that she wants. So I loved that clip where she talks about what's really hard for all of us, getting up before 6 a.m. and getting our day started. All right, last but not least, I have been so lucky, beyond lucky, to work alongside the amazing Tom Downing. He will not even believe when I say this, but it's so true. I mean, he's just made such a lasting impact on my career. He's been an amazing mentor to me, to so many others out there. He was also an incredible top producer before he moved into managing others. And, I think one of the things that struck me is just some of the stuff that he says sounds so easy, but it also is such an incredible incredible game changer for so many agents, which is just the idea of consistency.
I stayed away from trying the next best thing. And I think that's key for everything I've learned. And it's also even when I was managing agents, it's just the same thing. The next best thing isn't the best thing. It's about doing what you do well and then continuing to do it. And you do it so many times that you think, if I do this one more time, I'm going to die. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
That's when it's going to start taking.
Yeah. I love it because it's the truth too. It's the doing it until you don't want to do it anymore, almost to nauseum. But that's what this business is about. It is creating structure, being consistent. And I like the idea of not just, going after the shiny penny, which so many of us like to do, right? Which is I might try to pay money for these leads or do something different. You know what you need to do, you stick with it, and eventually you're going to see the results. And it's that simple. So that's what I loved about it. Well, I can say this is a wrap on taking a look back at some of my favorite moments on Corr Values. We all know that there's usually a rapid fire section, and we are flipping the script, I think, on me because we've got the amazing Tom Downing sitting next to me right now. And it's my understanding that I'm not asking the questions. I'm going to be answering.
You're going to be answering. This is rapid fire. Had an opportunity to hear these questions at all. So, are you ready? We're going to be doing some rapid fire questions. Okay. I don't think you are ready. This is going to be good. Okay, first one. What is the latest show that you've binged?
Oh, it's that one with, what's Claire Danes from Homeland. It was, I think, like The Beast in Me.
Wow.
Or Me and the Beast, something like that on Netflix or on Amazon. It was very good.
There you go.
Scary.
We got it. That is a
murder mystery.
Murder mystery. It's always, that's the scary part of those things. Yeah. What is your biggest guilty pleasure?
God dang it. My biggest guilty pleasure.
These are not easy. It's not easy being on the other side of this, is it?
I know. Biggest guilty pleasure that I don't do very often at all is sleeping in.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and this kind of goes
hand. I set my alarm on Sunday mornings. It's quite sad.
Okay, so this goes hand in hand with your biggest guilty pleasure or lack thereof. And I know the answer to this. What is your go-to coffee order?
It is a venti misto with oat milk.
There we go. Mm-hmm. And what is your favorite way to unplug?
Probably binge watching a TV show.
While sipping a coffee.
You also,
and not sipping it.
Yes. Well, maybe a glass of wine sometimes at night. Shh,
oh, really?
Don't tell anybody.
Occasionally?
Yeah.
What is your hidden talent?
Oh, hidden talent. I'll just say my hidden talent, because no one really knows this game out here, is I'm really good at Liar's Dice.
Oh, wow.
It's a bar game, but it's only mostly in San Francisco.
Yeah, I remember this.
Because I was talking to somebody in Chicago and I asked them about if they've ever played Liar's Dice at a bar, and none of them knew about it. So I'll say that's my hidden secret because no one knows about it in Chicago, but it's a super fun game until now. Yeah.
And what is your biggest pet peeve?
I am sometimes mad at myself about it, but being late. I'm really trying to teach my kids the importance of showing up on time, and that when you're late, it's like one of the biggest ways to sort of show that you don't care or disrespect somebody. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I mean, I'm not perfect at it, but it is a pet peeve.
What is your biggest fake it till you make it moment as an agent?
As an agent. Well, I would say as an agent, my biggest fake it till you make it was the first time that I had to go in on a luxury listing, and I feel like somehow I got the listing, but I just felt like I just didn't have my shtick down, so I had to really rely on sort of over posturing and feeling, having to go in and seem more confident than I really was. And, sometimes you walk out of there and you're like, oh my God, I totally blew it. And, they ended up, but I will also say in business or on the, management side of things, I will honestly say it was having to start doing video. And it was probably one of the hardest things to do. And like that whole idea of like just being, faking it and just seeming like you're decent at it when you're like stressed out and sweating and, like I even am now with all of these questions. So
we're going to keep it rapid fire.
Sorry.
So what?
I'm my own worst answer.
No, it's awesome. If you worked in real estate, what would you be doing?
I mean, this is so lofty and it sounds so random, but I've actually really loved learning how to interview and talk in front of camera and all of those things. So if Savannah Guthrie ever retires, I want her seat at the anchor table.
That's awesome.
Why not go big?
Go big or go home.
Yeah.
What's something people might be surprised to learn about you?
That I don't know if it's like a surprise, but I'm terrified of heights. And I get very nervous flying, I think because we're up in the air, and yeah, but I try to control it, but it really, like, I get really nervous about that.
Well, that's actually, I had no idea.
Yeah, like if I'm out, like when I would show listings and I would be, I know this is rapid fire, but, and I would be out on like a balcony that was really low, like it would be really hard for me to like step out there.
That's so good.
Yeah, so. All right, so I officially survived, I think, rapid fire.
You
No
did.
more
Good
other
job.
random questions off the card, not on the cards.
None that I can say.
Yes. Well, I will say that this season of Corr Values has been so much fun. I was nervous. I had so many emotions going into it, but it's been really great. And I will say, behind the scenes here, you cannot see them all, but we have such an incredible crew that has helped to put this all together, from Adam, Jack, our video guys, to Laura and Kelly, who make me sound much more amazing than I truly am in person. And I'm so glad that Tom has been able to be here for this last wrap-up episode. Bittersweet, because he's going on to greater things in 2026, and we're going to miss him incredibly. And I'm so glad that I had you on my show. But we might get him back, even if it's from far, far away. So on that note, I hope you all have a great wrap-up to your year, and make sure to look for us next year in 2026. We're going to have some great things to do together on Corr Values. Thanks for listening to this episode of Corr Values. If you loved the episode, be sure to hit the follow button so you don't miss the next one. You can also connect with me on Instagram and LinkedIn for more insights on all things real estate and real life. And always, as a friendly reminder, you got this.